Very simple. So let's see if you can figure out what the difference is or what the similarities are between them. You should know what these are, but let's go ahead and review. Let's write these down. All right. Who can tell me what they notice about these three formulas? Anything they notice? All of them have A, B, and C. Those are your sides of your triangle. Kind of looks like Pythagorean theorem. Well, you know, what's the differences between first, second, and third one? What do they have in common? They
use different angles.
Something about the angles. Yeah, the opposite of your angle. So side A at the end of the formula has angle A. And the second one, side B, has the opposite angles, angle B at the end of it. And then side C has angle C at the end of it. That's what you really need to notice. And it's pretty easy to remember these. So these go on your formula sheet. We're going to go ahead and do a few of these problems. Maybe one or two problems maybe. And then we'll do another area of the formula, area of a triangle formula. So let me start with number 4 here. All right, so you got your formulas there. Number 4. Here's what it looks like. Okay, so angle A is 108 degrees. You have angle C at the top, angle B, and little b is 15. Little c is 18, and we're going to call little a x for some reason. Now, so that's little a. Which formula are we going to use? The first, second, or third one? The first one, all right. So we'll write it down just so it helps us to remember which one it is. And then all you do is substitute the information. So we don't know a, that's your x. Little b is 15. Little c is 18. Oops. Minus 2 times b times c times the cosine of 108. And that is how we start, by identifying which piece we want, and which formula matches up to it. Now, as we progress, it really comes down to you deciding if you want to use law of cosines or law of sines, depending on what is given. Sometimes there's not enough information for law of sines. Sometimes there's not enough information for law of cosines. Whatever you're comfortable doing, but don't forget either one of them. You have your formula sheet to help you. Now, I want you to actually calculate this and see if you can get the right answer, because I want to point out typical errors that students make. So prove me wrong that you don't make errors. I'll pause it and we'll wait. First thing is do each of these calculations. So 225 and then 324. And then 2 times 15 times 18 is 540. I just did those separately. And then I could still multiply it by the cosine of 108. So at this point, you need to put these two together. Do not subtract 540. You need to do this calculation together, because that's multiplication. Okay, so 225 plus 324. What the heck? Yeah, 549. No, I mishit something. And then take 540 times the cosine of 108. And you get a negative 166.869177. Okay? Remember, you have a minus sign and a negative there, so you're going to add these together. And that's a typical mistake students make. They start dropping signs at this point. So add those together. What? Which one? 540. And there's a 715. And you could have gotten a whole bunch of different answers here. But now you got to take the square root. And there you get 26.8. So good job for those who got that right. That's x. Now you could not have done law of sines here. You could have used, never mind, I don't want to go there. Next time. Let's do another one. Let's see if you can get this one right. All right, so now we're going to change it to where I want to know the angle. So if I gave you all the sides, I'm going to pick an angle. Now eventually, part of what this is solving the whole triangle, finding all the angles and all the sides. I'm not going to do that as an example. I just showed you how to find another side. We're going to do one here to find an angle. At any point in time, you can use law of sines and law of cosines interchangeably to solve all the rest of the pieces, okay? So let's do number 16. Oops. Number 16. 16 is A is 10, B is 12, and C is 16. Now, I do not know if this is an acute triangle, obtuse triangle, but I'm just going to draw a generic triangle, ABC, and just plug everything in opposite their angles. Little a is 10, little b is 12, and little c is 16. And let's find angle B. So which formula are you going to use? First, second, or third one? Second one. So write that formula down. Oops. And then everybody substitute your numbers and let's see if you can solve it. I'm going to pause it, give you a chance to solve it. We'll see if you get it right. Are you done? Who's got an answer? Let's see if how many different answers we get. Anybody want to give me an answer? We don't want to be wrong. It's okay. Tell me what you got. What? 48.5. Anybody else? Everybody else got 48.5? Oh, nothing. Okay, I'll wait. I'll keep waiting. All right, I'll go through it. Okay, so we have 144 equals 100 plus 256 minus 2 times 10 is 20 times 16 is 320.
Yeah.
Wait, so how did you do that for?
2 times 10 is 20. 20 times 16 is 320. Okay, and again, I'm going to put these together or subtract them from 144 eventually. So that's 356. You want to try to do as many calculations individually as possible. Try not to do a whole bunch at the same time. So subtract 356 from 144. Get negative 212. And don't drop this negative, the minus sign. And so now you got to divide off the negative 320. 0.6625. And then you got to get b by itself by taking the arc cosine. And that's your 48.5. All right. Who eventually got that at the end, or would anybody just get stumped?
No,
I voted on air message.
I didn't even get past scratch with little b in.
Oh, okay, well, that's a problem.
For little b in. Real long.
Okay, at this point, so little b, or big B, 48.5 degrees.
I have an issue.
Yeah.
I have yet to get a single cosine, sine, any calculation right on this stupid.
Are you in radian mode?
So how did you get 48.5?
That's why. You have to hit second cosine. of the 0.6625. So what you have to do is you have to move the cosine over by taking the inverse, which is arc cosine. Okay. Now at this point, you could use law of sines to find angle A or angle C, and then subtract both those from 180 to get the other angle. Okay. All right. So now I want to use the same problem, and we're going to find the area. All right. So area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. We don't have the height of this triangle. We don't have an altitude. The other area formula you have is 1/2 your two legs and the sine of the included angle. Now we could use 1610 and 48.5, but I'm going to teach you a new formula that you have to know for the quizzes and tests. All right, test is Thursday, so make sure you know this formula. It's called Heron's formula. Okay, and the area is the square root. What? Yes, all these formulas go on your sheet. So S times S minus the leg, S minus the other leg, and S minus the final leg. So S minus A, S minus B, and S minus C. So what is S? S is equal to half your perimeter of your triangle, and your perimeter is A plus B plus C. So you can have all of that on your formula sheet. You should have the other area formula on your formula sheet. I'm going to move this up just a hair here. Okay, now let's actually do this. S is 1/2 times 10 plus 12 plus 16. So everybody calculate that. Which is 38. And you divide it by 2, that gives you 19. Half of 38 is 19. Don't forget to take half. So now you put it into your area formula, the square root of 19 times 19 minus little a, which is 10, 19 minus little b, which is 12, and 19 minus little c, 16. Everybody do that calculation, please. Everybody get 59.9?
No.
What are you guys doing?
We're slow.
Amanda got it, so we're good. Okay, that's all there is to the lesson. Law of cosines, Heron's formula.